From the beginning of the novel, nearly every character has a habit to which he or she turns to help alleviate his or her private suffering. Mourning the death of her fiancé, Catherine plays a distracting game of seduction with Henry. Rinaldi loses himself in the comforts of women, while the priest uses his faith in God to ease the pain of the war and the ruthless taunting of the soldiers. Nearly all of the characters rely heavily on alcohol to numb the daily assaults of the war, both physical and emotional. The most appealing of all of these comforts is love, which Hemingway explores for its power to endow characters with a sense of security. Upon meeting, Henry and Catherine imitate conventional courtship, speaking words that seem stolen from a scripted romance. They engage in such behavior, they admit, in order to take their minds off the war. As their love grows stronger and more legitimate, they continue to treat it as a protective shelter. Henry abandons the army and ends up living in the supposed safety of neutral Switzerland. In the end, however, nothing offers lasting protection. Rinaldi, Henry suspects, has succumbed to syphilis, reflecting the degenerate nature of Rinaldi's values. The priest's philosophies regarding God are outdone by Henry's belief in the hollowness of lofty abstractions. Catherine, despite her all-consuming love, dies in childbirth. The novel suggests that no matter where characters turn for solace from the harsh circumstances of the world, the need for comfort and protection can never be fulfilled. The descriptive immediacy of A Farewell to Arms is the novel's most distinctive feature, and Hemingway achieves it through a simple, but expertly executed, technique. He allows Henry, as the narrator, to describe events according to his own perception and memories. The story never strays from Henry's vantage point. Even panoramic scenes of war and the afflicted Italian countryside, such as the passages describing the Great Retreat, are filtered through Henry's eyes. The reader sees only what Henry sees. Because Hemingway never offers objective narration in which an omniscient, omnipresent voice tells the story, he must render the chaos and confusion and brutality of war by using only Henry's experiences. In choosing these experiences so skillfully, Hemingway is able to communicate the bleakness of one of the most dramatic times in world history, World War I, by focusing, for instance, on the conflict between two men. When Henry shoots the fleeing engineering sergeant, his actions convey the grim reality of a world that enables him to behave in such a way. Additionally, the lack of other viewpoints contributes to the immediacy of the story. Henry, as though he's perpetually too engrossed in the moment to think outside of himself, never imagines the perceptions or feelings of other characters. He does not, for instance, presume to know what Catherine thinks or that she ever thinks anything other than what she says. Like a reporter, he simply reports what he sees and hears. This technique binds the reader to Henry's experience and interpretation of the events that he details. 1. A Farewell to Arms is a love story as well as a war novel. Discuss the role of love in the novel. How does love affect the characters' perceptions of war? How does the war shape the character's love story? 2. Scott Fitzgerald considered Catherine's character the weak link in A Farewell to Arms. With attention to Catherine's values and motivations and to the way Hemingway portrays her character, do you agree with Fitzgerald's opinion? Why or why not? 3. What is the role of foreshadowing in A Farewell to Arms? How might Hemingway's subtle signaling to the reader that Catherine will die in childbirth change the way the reader approaches the final chapters? 4. Critics often discuss Hemingway's fiction as a celebration of a specific type of manhood. What kind of man does A Farewell to Arms celebrate, and how does Hemingway achieve this effect?